This is the It's My Time podcast with Asher Tchoua.
Are you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing good. You would get me right at the time when I decided to go grab some food. I grabbed a bagel and I was like, let me eat this real quick.
right at 2:30.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Weekend just with the girls, trying to hang out with them. They have them watching Tom and Jerry, the movie, because it came out last night.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. I saw somebody.
But just chilling.
Got you. I saw somebody make a post or something about it. I was like, huh. But now that you mentioned the movie just came out, that makes sense.
Was it a good or positive comment?
Yeah, well, it was just like they had a clip of I guess Jerry's the mouse, right?
Yeah.
So it was like Jerry in like a bathrobe or something in his mouse hole listening to some kind of music. And I was I don't get it, but it's like now that you mentioned the movie, now it makes sense.
Yeah, he set up shop in a hotel, man, a really nice hotel. And
Very
dude,
nice.
he was going around the hotel, just stealing people's stuff and making it into his own. Like he grabbed somebody's cell phone and had it as his big screen TV.
Oh,
it was
snap.
funny. It was funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, I guess watching something as a kid and then you watch it back as an adult, you realize how many more things are going on. Like you could look at it in one way where it's like you got this rat basically running around through the hotel, setting up shop. But then on the other hand, you could just have like somebody just enjoying themselves, making themselves home wherever they're at.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the way that he's doing it, I mean, he's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like high. He has like high expectations, right? He's not going around for anything like
right,
like cheap or anything. Like everything for him is like he sold somebody's like 1 million or 2 million diamond ring because he wanted to be because they wanted to be his chandelier. You know what I mean? I mean, he's going all out.
He's
like
not
shopping.
pulling any punches.
No, he has his bag and he's just going around shopping.
Dang.
Not
even window shopping, just like I want that.
Yes.
I want that.
Yes. And just taking it. Like it's crazy.
Man, that's hilarious.
But it's all good, fun to laugh. It's all for laughter. So it's good. Yeah.
I think they got what is it? Coming to America's coming out in a few weeks.
Yes, this month. They promoted that for so long. Like, that was we saw the previews for that back in like December.
Gotcha.
We had to wait 3 months for it. Now it's finally here. So it should get a good viewing. It's been over 20 years since Coming to America came out.
Yeah. I watched it, I think last weekend or the weekend before that, because they put it up on Amazon Prime.
The first one?
Yeah.
Man.
And I think that was the first time I ever watched it all the way through.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, is that your first time watching it? I think that was Samuel L. Jackson's first big break, man.
Right.
Coming to America.
Yeah. I almost forgot he was in there.
Right. Look where he's at now, man.
Right.
I mean, that's just a testament to how life is, right? Like you see some people, you have no idea. I'm sure maybe a lot of people don't even know where he came from. You know what I mean? Like he had like a little role in Coming to America to where now he's like doing blockbuster movies and headlining movies. So it speaks about your body of work and you gotta just like stick to it, man.
True. Very true. I guess the other thing about it, what is it? They're like the two characters in that movie. They were from the other movie, the Trading Places, the two homeless guys, where he's walking by and he gives them like some money. And
more money.
Like, we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that movie has all kind of iconic, memories in it.
Yeah.
Just like good morning, and everybody, you know what I mean? Like you say that, and everybody know what that means. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it resonates with a lot of people. A lot, because so I'm expecting it to be like a huge viewing, because think about it, everybody from that genre or that era is looking forward to watching it.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And so now you have your kids or the younger generation going to watch it and be like, oh snap.
Right.
Now they're gonna go back and watch the first one, be like,
Yeah.
want to know like what all these people, or maybe like you said, maybe now a lot of people are doing that,
Right.
where they're looking at America, coming to America one, and be like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this what this is it, this what this is. All right, I'll check the second one out. But
Yeah.
and Eddie Murphy was the first one to start. Well, now it shouldn't be said the first one, but had so many characters or playing so many characters in one movie.
Right.
All right, most of the guys in the barbershop.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know what I
didn't know
mean?
that he was the Jewish guy for the longest time until you see it at the end credits. Like the
Yeah.
joke that he's like, "Hey, can you taste the
Taste the
soup?"
soup. Yeah.
He's like,
right.
"Taste the soup. Where's the spoon?"
Ah.
Aha.
Like I was saying, there's so many, like, we watched that movie so times. Like a lot of people could just recite it and know
Yeah.
the lines from it.
Right. Right.
Aha. Aha.
It's funny.
It's funny.
I know that I hadn't watched it that many times because like every now and then I jump on the men's prayer line, and one of the guys was like, he made a reference to like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on fries next, and then I'll be at the cashier."
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, I've heard that somewhere before, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then somebody's like,
Right.
"It's coming to America," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I got it now."
Yeah. He said first you do the dishes,
Yeah.
then you gonna move up to washing the vegetables, then to the fries, then to the cashier, and that's when I'll be making the big bucks, right?
Right.
And you think about like, man, I mean, cashiers don't even make anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that was a whole nother reference right there. Like, but for you to look forward to like wanting to get there, all right, you moving up the line.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like crazy good. Man.
Yeah.
Oof. So go ahead.
Good. No, I was gonna say. So, how are things going with you and on this platform? Like, have you decided like what will you see yourself doing with it yet?
It's still a work in progress. I mean, most of it, I like the format being like this, kind of just from the time that we started talking. That's how we start, and then just highlighting everyday people. That's my main thing, and right now the focus is on just Instagram. So a lot of what I'm doing or been doing since January is just focusing on understanding Instagram, posting on there. I'm not trying to do any edits or any of the audio edits, video or audio. Found someone to help me with that, or found two people to help me with that. And starting next week, we're gonna do the video editing and start putting that on YouTube and kind of see how it goes for the month. So just taking it like 1 month at a time and just continuing to learn the process and just grow little by little organically. That's the main thing, my main goal.
Okay.
Yeah. It's helping me keep it grounded, or it's keeping me grounded to where I don't get too lost with my head in the clouds trying to figure out like, do I need to do this? Do I need to do it's like, nope, just do this one thing, one platform, post these times during the week, and then just go from there.
Okay. Yeah, for me, like, I mean, I want to do it, but I just like, I need to find, the time, because I don't want to start it and not be able to, you know what I mean? Like commit to it.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people do that, start it and just can't commit it, or they run out of,
ideas.
ideas or things to talk about. And, you know,
Right.
this guy had the one called Lunch with a Punch or something like that, but he was talking about fitness. And he would do it always at lunchtime, but he only did it for last for 6 weeks. And it just faded away, you know?
Right.
So I think that's the biggest obstacle for me, is to figure out, like, if I do start a podcast, like, where it's gonna go, like, what am I talking about? How can I keep it interesting? So I think that's the one thing that's holding me back from doing a podcast in the first place. And another thing is, like I said, do I keep it fitness? Do I keep it as a girl dad? I think a girl dad would be interesting. I don't think anybody out there doing anything like that.
Right.
There's a lot of fitness podcasts out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to be something that unique and you know, maybe do it where I'm talking with my daughters, you know, asking them questions or something.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Because again, you want to do something that's just different. You know what I mean? I don't want to do anything, and I also want to, like I said, don't want to do it and it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
So,
but I guess even in doing something different, I feel like as many things are similar and different, like, it's different in the fact that you're doing it. Like, other people may do something that's close to it, but like, they're not you. And I think in order to get you going, I think I maybe sent you that cheat sheet thing to kind of help you outline what are some of the targets that you want to hit. But something that was helpful to me, it's like, in recording with your daughters, or maybe recording, like, we can do this a couple of times if you want, and just do it as a way of, like, you do it and you don't need to put it out immediately. Like, get comfortable maybe for this month of March coming up, and then, like, say you record one day out of the week and you just get used to doing that. Like, if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time frame you want, you make it yours. Because with the podcast, is like, you have some as short as 5 minutes, some as long as 3-4 hours, and it's all just depending on, like, whatever it is that you want to say. And so long as you stick to that, one week it could be girl dad, or another you could do it in seasons. Like, it all depends on you. Like, I'd say, don't limit yourself, but just start with something. And then from where you start, basically kind of let it lead you. If you want to change up what you're doing, you can. But I think what your idea of doing the girl dad thing, talking with your daughters, would be great. And also, like, if you tie in your fitness, it's like, definitely stick to something that comes natural to you, to where it's like, you're not having to go outside yourself to, like, learn something, because that's adding extra stress, extra time, extra work. Like, a lot of the work you'll probably be doing is figuring out probably just figuring out what you do with the material once you get it. And obviously you can connect with people that are good at social media, or people that are good at posting and things like that. But sometimes it's interesting to kind of, it's good to get into the weeds if that's your thing, but a lot of times it's like, you save yourself a big headache if you just do what you like, and then find somebody to do the things that you're not so crazy about.
Right. I mean, even with fitness, right? Like, they would tell you that you want to try to focus on the 5% and outsource the 95%. So, you know, if you're good at the sales or you're good at training, do that. Have someone do the marketing and all that stuff for you. So, you know, but, you know, in my situation, I've never, the training part, especially, is one I just can't find anyone that could do it where my clients are like, okay, I'm okay with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you
all
mean?
throughout. So if I train a client and then I said, all right, I have this trainer that's working for me now. Now I want them to train you. That client is like, nah, if I'm not training with you, I'm not training anyone else. Right.
Because it's like we built that relationship, we built that rapport.
And so it's been very hard for me to kind of grow my business because, well, and even the clients who have never worked with me, because they hear how the other clients talk about working with me.
Yeah,
they've never worked with me before, but then now they're like, oh, I want you to train me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
your reputation speaking for itself.
Yeah, and so, but it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? It's part of it is good, part is bad, but you can never grow as so. And I was talking to one this other.
What you're saying.
Yeah, because you now I got to show up to train people all the time, as opposed to like, hey, I have this really good trainer over here. He's the best. You know, he's really good.
Right.
You know what I mean? To the point where even if you raise your rates and say like, hey, it's $95 to work with me, but you could pay $65 to work with him. Like, all right, I'll pay the $95. Right. You know what I mean? So that money doesn't even come into play.
In that sense, you might have to say, okay, it's $300.
Right. So or again, like, so I just don't want to train. But like, you know, with COVID, it really forced me to, I mean, I gave up my gym and now I'm training by myself, which I love. You know, now I don't have an overhead.
Right.
And the two biggest thing was when I had the gym was spending time with my family and making enough money to sustain the business, right?
Right.
And so with COVID, now I'm working from home, so my family is covered.
Yeah.
I'm training every one of my clients by myself. I have a lot of clients, so money is not an issue. And so I'm in a happy place.
Right.
I mean, I would never reopen the gym. I would never, you know what I mean? Like, so COVID was a blessing. COVID was a blessing for me.
Right.
You know, I was telling my wife the other night, like, I don't know how I was up. I was running on like 4 hours of sleep for like the last 8 years. Some nights, because I'm in bed by 11. I'm up at like 4:30. Got to get to the gym for 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I can't even see myself doing that. Like 6 o'clock is kicking my butt to get up at 6. But I'm only walking to another room to train. You know what I'm saying? Get on a virtual with a client. I'm only getting into the other room.
Right.
But before I had to get up early, get myself together, get in my car and drive to the gym a good 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Be there for 5, open up the gym, and then start greeting clients and have that high energy, you know.
Yeah.
You can't train a client at 5 a.m. and be like, oh, tired, you know what I'm saying? Like you got
like, it's not working out.
Right. They're not motivated. You coming in yawning, and you know what I mean? Like you got to bring that energy. So it's been a blessing for me. And again, the two things where you really struggle with as an owner, when you own a gym, again, you miss out on your family because you're always there. You don't see your kids grow up or whatever. Some people, you know, end up having a divorce, you know, because they're never there.
Right.
Or you're constantly worrying about money because you got to pay your staff, you got to keep the facility open, and then blah blah. So I'm in a good space, man. I mean, COVID has been a blessing for me because those two things now is not an issue for me.
Right.
So I'm like, why would I ever go back? I love being a virtual trainer, and I was dabbling with it, you know, a little bit. But now, because of COVID, it forced me to do it 100%. And I mean, like, it's been a blessing.
Gotcha. So do you still have trouble with, I guess, having so many clients where you're trying to kind of group them, or that's not an issue anymore?
That's not an issue because, you know, with the virtual classes, you can have as many as 20 people in a class, right?
Right.
And so I offer 4 classes 3 days a week.
Oh, okay. So you're already doing that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, with you guys, I do one-on-one, but I have classes that I teach.
Right.
And so, you know, with the classes, it's been perfect because, you know, having my gym in New York and having I have all those clients that still follow me, and now they're getting back and training with me.
Gotcha.
Because I'm on the West Coast, the time difference kind of work out too. Because when I train in the morning, I have some New York clients at 6 a.m., which is 9 a.m. there.
Right.
Then I'm training at noon, it's 3 o'clock there.
Right.
I'm training at 3 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock there. So some clients are already coming off work, already
Right.
home. And then I do a one at 5:30, which is like my clients here in LA who's
right. Getting
home.
off work.
But it's also people who in New York who missed the 6 and now staying up for an 8:30 class.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so let's just say we have 20 people on each one of those classes. That's 80 people that you're touching in one day. You know what I mean?
Right. Versus having to do one-on-ones before, or 5 face to face.
Yeah. I mean, you know, to clients, you know, so I know some colleagues, they like the one-on-one, you pay more, but listen, you own in a day, you could probably maybe squeeze, and that's squeezing, I say 13 clients, right? In one day for one-on-one. Again, you make a lot of money, but if 5 of those clients drop off, your pocket is going to feel it. Right. Ooh. I have 80 members and 20 drop off. I still got 60. Right. It doesn't really hurt you as much. So the group has allowed me to like really scale and have flexibility. I mean, I have clients in Idaho, Georgia, New York, and Miami that I train, so it allows me to really like touch people all across the country doing the virtual, as opposed to just being one dimensional here in LA, and having people come to my gym, so it's awesome. Worked out great. Yeah, it's worked out great for me.
So I guess, did you have a gym both in New York as well as LA?
Yeah, I started off in New York in 2009. When I closed that, I try to keep it open, but like as I mentioned earlier, my clients just didn't want to work with the guy that I left there, and little by little, they just started like, listen, I'm leaving. It's not working out. It's not the same. Right. So I closed it. Yeah. And went to open shop here. It was me full time, and I really was trying to not train as much. But then, people come in and I was just like, no, I heard about you. I see the reviews. I want you. Yeah. You're not going to turn money out of your business. You're like, all right, I'll train you. You know what I mean? And to the point where like now clients are like, well, if you're not training, I'm not staying. So you got to let that trainer go because they're not really helping you. You know what I mean? Right. And the training business, it's a little personal. You don't change your doctor, your mechanic, your dentist. You don't every week. You don't go to a different one. Right. You find one that works. You kind of stay with them for a while. Yeah. And so it's the same thing with training. Like you said, you find when you have that, that develop that relationship with them, they just like, no, I'm good. Right. I'll stay with you. It's like me done. Hey, Asher, I mean, I'm gonna. This is my dude George. He gonna be your trainer for that. Maybe you'll try him. Maybe you'll try him out, but then you're gonna be like, well, Jason didn't really do that. You know what I mean? And you're like, nah, it's not gonna work out, man. I'm gonna try somebody else. But thank you though. So true. So I got a lot of that. So like I said, this now allows me to work because there's some clients by coming back, the first thing they ask is like, are you doing all the sessions? Right. So my question to you, I want to ask you this question is, you've had trainers before. What is it about me that allows you to want to continue or like working with me?
Well, I mean, I know, first of all, I really like your energy. It's like every time that I jump on with you, it's like, it's okay, we're ready to go. Like, I know this month has been tougher because usually we do 3 sessions, and I've only been able to do 1 on Friday, working nights and trying to get adjusted to that. So my big thing has been being able to touch base with you, you being flexible, and just being willing to work with me. But not only that, like when we're doing the workout, you listen and you adjust the workout and you kind of keep an eye on what's going on, and you're focused on the training. You're not distracted doing something else. Like you don't have ideas of like, oh yeah, I want you to be like this. It's like, no, what do you want? What are your goals? Like whenever we first met up, you sent
Right.
out the thing, which was very professional, and it's like, what are the things that you want to hit? And we talked about it, and we're not harping on it all the time, but at least I'm aware that you're keeping that in mind, and every time that we train, you're always attentive to what's going on. You're not just in it for yourself. That's the big thing of why I like training with you, and why I really appreciate it, because it's like, it's one thing, like some people need people to just like push them, just like um whip them into shape, I guess you'd
Yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
for better or worse words. But like I'm not that type of person. Like I can work hard, like I enjoy working out, but if it's going to be miserable every time I do it, I really
Yeah.
don't want to. And
To do.
like, as good as I might be feeling or that, like if I'm always having to fight not only the workout, but if I'm having to fight the trainer, it's like this is becoming, this is like kind of defeating the purpose, and it's becoming depleting.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, I mean, just based on what you said too, I could tell you so many stories of seeing trainers, getting fight with their clients, which
Yeah.
is just crazy to me,
Right.
right? Or I mean, I had one client said to me, her trainer told her, like, she basically what you said, like, you telling me like this is the goals, and my job is to be like, okay, Asha, this is the program that we're gonna do.
Right.
But I've had clients who tell a trainer something, and he's like, no, this is where you need, this is what you need to work on. Like, wait, what?
Right.
like no, you need to have bigger legs, or you need to have big, like, what? Wait,
Right. Right. It's like,
I'm telling you what
right.
I want, not you.
Right.
You not.
Because
So
I remember to that point, I remember when I'm in North Georgia now. Before I was in East Georgia, and I went and I signed up. I think I've had 3 trainers in my lifetime, because by background I played sports in high school, so I started working out and things like that sophomore year.
mhm,
But getting out of college, it was kind of like, okay, I can't neglect this thing for too long. Or even being in
right,
college, it's like I stopped playing sports, stopped working out, and like my body felt it all of a sudden,
quick,
to where
yeah,
I was having trouble walking. And I was like, something's not right if I'm having trouble walking at 21, 22. And like I went and
wow,
saw the doctor on campus, and he was like, yeah, you just need to exercise. That's what your body needs. Like if your knees are bothering you or something, like just take a break from the machine you're using and
see,
then go at it again. And it was cool because he was like a sports doctor, and he just happened to be someone with a background in sports that was like the primary care doctor there on the campus. And I was like,
yeah,
awesome. I went back to working out, felt fine. And then working a full-time job out of college is like, you got to put your life together. So that first trainer that I had, he was very good people out in Illinois. Came back to East Georgia, Augusta, and I joined the Gold's Gym because I was like, I think it was maybe January 2018, like
yeah,
2017, it kind of got rough there with a bit of like depression or just bad thinking and things like that. And I was like, okay, the only way I'm going to reset is by training my body, because usually I feel good from doing
yeah,
working
yeah.
out.
Mentally
And
strong, man. You'd be
yeah,
surprised. Yeah,
but it's like I did that because I know that's something that always helps me, either working out or running. And it's like it's hard doing it on your own. And I figured, hey, go ahead and get a trainer. That way you have someone to like meet you and work with you. So
yeah, yeah.
I did,
Support is key.
yeah. And I in doing that, I met someone that was kind of like in between. I think he had to step away because he had some health concerns to take care of, but The guy that I met was pretty cool, Darnell. We worked out for the better part of the year, and I think before I met him, the guy that had the health challenges, I think he'd made some suggestions about like, okay, like I don't know if it's like a trainer thing or people that are in fitness or whatnot. Whenever they see you, they see that like you're either healthy or you're taking care of yourself. It's almost like they salivate and just like, oh man, like I could build you like this, like man, you look really good, really
Right,
swole. And
right.
I was kind of just like, I appreciate it, but that's not my goal. Like
Go, yeah.
I'm not trying to be bulky. I'm trying to be fit, lean, because it's like for that's just how I see myself. Like
And what you want.
right. And it's like
Yeah.
I could look like Superman, but I don't I don't need that. Like
Right, right.
I'm not trying
Listen,
to
man.
be like humble brag or anything, but it's like for the people that look like Thor and like the super god, I'm like, cool, good on you. But
Right.
like if I want to do that, I'll let you know. I'll just be like, okay, hey, 6 months, let's switch it up. Let's hit up the creatines, let's hit up the steroids, let's hit up the this. But I'm like, no, I'd rather not. But obviously it's like you have your things that you would take naturally, your uh
BCAs.
yeah, the BCAs. I was looking for it over there. But it's like you have that things that your body needs in order to rebuild what it's breaking down. And it's like,
Right.
okay, I'm open to learning that, but it it kind of becomes a little bit annoying if you go to the gym and um you're working with meatheads or people are just like, oh, we're gonna get in here, we're just gonna move this weight. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna be walking at least 5 or 6 miles at work tomorrow, and I'm not in high school anymore where like you can kind of waddle down the staircase because you had a hard workout and your legs don't work right. It's like
Work, yeah.
they're gonna be looking at me kind of funny if it's like, we need you to do this. We don't need you over there waddling like
Yeah, man. It's like, it, everybody has their goals, right? And
right.
so, I mean, I've trained, like I have a 12-year-old that I train. I've trained 80, 90 years old.
Yeah.
I've trained 20s, so I have different scope. And one of the biggest things that I see with young trainers and stuff is not being able to adapt to each client, right? You might have a client who could take the yelling for them to go, and it might be a client who you just sit there and let them work on and shut the hell up. And then you might have a client who like, you got to be constantly behind them. You kind of like, let's go. You got it. But you can't not train everybody the same. You cannot come in. And I that's the one thing some of my clients will hate when other trainers come in and they feel like they got to be behind them. Like, just back away and shut up and just leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Like, and so you got to be able to adapt. And that for me, I think that's one of the unique things about me with training is that I figure out and pick up on people's energy. I know who I can push.
Yeah.
I know who I need to shut the hell up and just let them work out. And I know who I need to like, all right, let's go. You got to go.
Yeah.
So you gotta find that balance to be successful as a trainer. Because I'm training people online, not in person, and they still have a great workout as if we were right there.
Right.
I'm gonna have you sweat. I'm gonna have you feeling sore. And you could attest to this. Like,
I sweat yesterday. I sweat hard yesterday.
It's not gonna be no light workout. Like, cause so many people have called and I say I'm doing virtual. And like, nah, I need to be in person. It's just not the same. And I'm like, just try it. Let's try one session. If you don't like it, if you don't feel like, I want to be in person, like, okay, this is my price to be in person. Well, no, I don't want to pay that much. You know what I mean? Like, so, you just
so you can take the red pill or the blue pill, which you want.
Which one you want. So you just got to let people kind of decide. But once they get into my program, 99% of my clients are happy. Unless they're moving away or, or lose their job and stuff. I really don't have clients. I was just the other day, I don't even have any contracts. I'm training right now. None of my clients are on contract. I have over 50, I think 51 members between personal and group.
Yeah.
Not one of them is on contract where at the end of the month coming up and I'm like, hey, your credit card didn't go through. None of that.
Yeah.
All my clients automatically send me their payment for the next month.
Yeah.
Which is just a true blessing that I'm doing something right and they want to continue to work with me.
Right.
I know trainers, they sending out invoices or they call and be like, hey, do you want to continue? If he didn't send me any money, then obviously I figured like, hey, you didn't want to come back. You're not going to continue. So,
right.
We won't train. But I've been really blessed where my clients all like, I'll see you in the Monday.
Yeah.
Every one of my clients, Monday started the first one. None of them was like, well, Monday I'm not, this would be my last month. Not one, knock on wood, none of my clients were like, Jason, this is my last one and I'm training you again. So
right.
I've been really lucky during the pandemic. Like I said, been blessed to being able to spend time, as much time as I am with my family.
Yeah.
Taking my girls to school and not have to worry about, all right, we got to make this amount of money so that we can, pay the bills.
Right.
Look at this. We're just talking about it. The mother of my 12-year-old client sending me a bunch of pictures and stuff right now as we speak, and we just talk about him.
Nice.
And the same thing. We started out with him doing 2 days a week, and after the first month, his mom texted me and said, "Hey, Aiden said he wants to do 3 days a week with you." Right? And it wasn't me be like the greedy trainer be like, hey, I need more money, so I'm gonna tell her she need to train with him.
He's like, one more day, come on.
Why?
Okay, 5 more days, come on.
Why? It was the little boy like, I feel good, mommy. I want to do one. I don't want to do again. So that speaks volume to the type of work that I'm doing with my clients. Like they all want to continue working.
Right. Is that something you've always had success with as a trainer, or did you have to learn that over time? Like, did you start like the other ones, like the young trainer where you were just like gung-ho and then you had to like pull back at some point?
No, it came natural, but of course, over the years, you kind of just mold into it. Because when I first started training, I would have clients that would just come in and come out. You know what I mean? And that's because you didn't really have much of one of the things a lot of clients say to me is they like my structure. I have good structure, right? And so obviously when I first started, my structure wasn't as it is right now.
Right.
And so I wasn't able to keep in contact with clients. So clients would fall through the crack, meaning like they haven't heard from me. You're not sending out emails to say, hey, good job, great job today.
Yeah.
So early on, I wasn't doing that. But then as I got older, I realized that you got to stay in front of your clients. You know what I mean? If a client, if I don't see a client by Wednesday, I'm reaching out to them and saying, hey, what's up? And they'll be like, oh man, Jason, thank you so much for doing that. You know what? My husband been sick and, just been a lot of me lately, but I'll be in on Friday or I'll be in tomorrow.
Right.
And then they're like, oh man, you know what? Maybe take the week off. They're like, no, I really appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm gonna come in the gym tomorrow. So stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like where you reach out to people by Wednesday, I don't see you. I'm reaching out. Like, what's going on? Is everything okay? And that makes a big difference where that client was like, oh my goodness, he really cared.
Right.
You pay your monthly bill, they're not calling you and be like, hey,
right. You want your lights on?
Right. As long as next month your card goes through, they're good. They're not gonna ever now if it doesn't go through, now they're calling you, hey, Mrs. Jones, you sign up for 6 months with us, your card was declined. Is there another card we could use?
Right.
So those are things. And then, like I said, being able to understand each one of your clients, right? Understand who you're dealing with, who you could get close to, who you could really push, and who you just need to shut the hell up and let work out.
Right.
So that comes with experience. Now, the one thing I could tell you about being a successful trainer is the one thing that they don't teach you when you learn it to be certified.
What's that?
And that sales. You could have 25 certificates. You could be the best kettlebell. You could be the best nutritionist. If you can't close a client and convince them that they're going to pay you X amount of dollars and then you're going to deliver, you just sitting there with nobody in the door. You could have the best facility. Yeah. You could have the best body. If you can't convince a client that, hey, I heard your pain. These are the steps that we're going to take, and I'll guarantee you're going to see results. Sign right here. Right? Sales is one of the biggest things. I know some clients have, other trainers have 25 certification, aqua aerobics, kettlebell certified, level 10. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but if you cannot do sales, if you cannot convince that client when they sit down in front of you, listen to them first of all, and not tell them what you want, but telling them what you could. This is the plans or the steps that we're gonna take to help you to get where you want to be based on what you say. Right. And here's my price. And they be like, take out their credit card and be like, all right, I want to do it. Right.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So you once you get what you, because most trainers, I think, well, for me, I'll tell you how I got into working for myself was I won't say the name, but I went on 4 interviews with one gym, and after by the 4th interview, they told me how much I was going to make. I looked at the guy, I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I'm good." Right. And I walked out of there and started figuring out how I could be a trainer on my own and not work in the gym. Right. And so figuring out, okay, now I had a 9 to 5. So I was like, you know what? I started giving away free sessions. Okay. I went into a park and just give away a bunch of, hey, you want to train? I'm training over here for free. Yeah. And I started in the summer. And every Saturday I did a class in the morning for free. Just grab people, hey, train with me, get to know the name. And then, hey, I'm gonna see you guys next Saturday. I'll be right here. Next Saturday, we started growing. We went from the summer for free every Saturday until this was in New York, until about like November. Now it started getting cold. Right. December. And I'm like, hey, I want to continue with you guys as long as you want to, but we need to find a facility that could go inside. And I said, if I could get 21 people to pay me $125, I could find a space and we could continue doing this. Dude, I got my 21 people. They pay me $125. I found a space. And this was like in the November, I got the space. Yeah. And by March of the following year, I left my 9 to 5 and was training full time. Haven't looked back since.
What year was that?
2009.
Man.
So by 2010, I had opened my facility, running full time, because and then when I was doing it, I was only training. I would train before I go to work in the morning, and then train when I get back in the evening. So I was doing 1 class in the morning, 1 class in the night. Right. And people started coming in. People were starting to come in and was like, hey, I want to train in the morning. Do you have any time? I was like, man, I'm at work. I can't do that. Right. But I had gotten so many requests, and before you know it, I was making more money than I was bringing in from my 9 to 5. Right. So I just put in my 2 weeks, and I haven't looked back since. And and again, it was me first. What I did, giving away free service, because I know what my stuff would work. Yeah. Giving away for free to get people to buy in. and they only come in once a week and was happy seeing results, feeling better.
Yeah.
So once I got those 21 people, that 21 people grow to, we started growing. And then I was up to like 45, 48, 50, 60 clients by myself, doing a lot of groups, some personal, but that's how it started for me.
That's awesome. I guess the reason I'm just over here smiling is because not too long ago, I talked with a friend of mine. Now I consider him a friend. We met through this extreme execution training where it's like for behavioral science, learning how the different types of people and how you talk to people by first learning how who you are yourself, like what you prefer, what are things you're good at, not so good at. And Avery, he worked in sales essentially, and he started a company, or I think he's had a company where they do sales training, and his target audience is like college students that are about to graduate, whether they have a business degree, they're going to go into marketing, and or even training. Like to your point, it's like sales isn't something you're taught in school. You're not taught how to sell in business school. You're not taught about money. Like there's certain things that you need in life that you're just not taught, but you can learn them. It's just not part of the curriculum. And just hearing that that's something that he's doing, and also hearing your story about how you started your business essentially from just giving away the training. It's like that's the same exact principle that I'm learning through the morning meetup group I'm in, which I found about that through Alexis, because she has her business. And I was like, it'd be great. Like I work semi 9 to 5 or longer. And it's like, if you're just doing that and you're not really passionate about it, it helps to have a hobby. Even if you're passionate about your job, it still helps to have a hobby where it's like you build something for yourself.
Yeah.
You can be proud of that at the end of the night versus you're just upset or you're just drained from always doing for other people, and you never
satisfied, never happy. Yeah.
But it's go ahead.
Even when when I had my 9 to 5, I hated my 9 to 5, and I'll tell my wife, man, I hate going to work. She's like, if you hate it so much, do something about it.
Right.
And she said that to me, and I was like, what? I'm gonna show you. All right. I'm gonna do something about it. I got my I passed my certification, man, and then I just never looked back. That was it for me, man. And then 2010, once I handed in my 2 weeks, man, I haven't worked for everyone since. And the rate I'm at, man, I would never work for anyone again. Right. Because it just I've learned so much, right? And so like even like now, I mean, there's so many gurus. They claim they're gurus that you see. I don't know about you, but for me, like LinkedIn hit me up in my inbox because I see I'm a trainer, and they promise all this stuff, and I'm just like, that's just fluff. I mean, I'm not a young buck. You know what I mean? Maybe
like I've been here for a minute.
Yeah, you called me 10 years ago. Even when I lay out what I'm doing in my plan and what I'm bringing in, they're just like, wow, okay. Well, some would be like, well, I could still do better. Or some would be like, listen, bro, what you're doing is great. You don't need any help. Continue to do what you're doing. And I say that, you know what? I really appreciate you saying that.
Right.
He's like, yeah, because, I'm not going to try to convince you. You're already doing a really good job.
Right. He's not going to try and sell you on what you're already doing.
Right. But some
like,
people will be like,
turn off sales mode for a minute.
Some people are like, oh yeah, I could still bring you 25. And I was like, and the thing that get me is like, everybody, they could bring you 100 leads.
Yeah.
But how many of those are you going to convert into actually paying clients?
Right.
That's the key. Can you convert paying clients to me? Because you can get me a lead all at once. Because now you got to weed out the ones that's actually going to show up. Right. And then the one that could actually afford you. Yeah. Right. And then the one that's gonna come in and you have to overcome all these objections. Well, I gotta talk to my husband. I gotta talk to my wife, right? And you gotta overcome all those objections before they sign on the dotted line. You know what I mean? And you want to. So now I learned how to pre-sale
Mhm.
clients. You know what I mean? You ask them questions that's going to know that if they can afford your price or not, so
Right.
that you don't waste time bringing them in.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So there's so many things I've learned over the years to realize, like, okay, instead of so even with sales, right? So when I
Mhm.
came to New York in 2016, and I opened
Mhm.
my gym in 2017, I thought I was good at sales.
Mhm.
Man, it was a wake up call because I had built up such a reputation in New York. Most of my clients that was coming in was just coming in because of referrals, word of mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was in a new city. Nobody knew who the hell I was.
Yeah.
And I had to interview and sit down in front of all these people and try to convince them, like, again, like I said,
Yeah.
I had a nice, pretty gym, big gym and everything. But if you don't have someone that could close, guess what? Next thing is going to be closed is your doors, because you know you don't. There's nobody there. So I had to learn a different type of sales in a city, in a market that's so competitive. LA, where my gym was. There was at least 21 other training or facility around me. Right.
Okay. Oh wow.
So in a 1 mile radius, you have at least 25 of us competing. And so
Right.
you got to be different from everyone else, because there were people that would jump in my gym for,
Yeah.
and this was when Groupon was hot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Groupon was hot, where they were just like, you would offer a deal where, because they had all these people who would be on Groupon. You would offer like a 6-week program for like, I don't know, $97 or something. So you would bring people in, they'll do that month, but then after they on to the next Groupon. They're not
Right.
staying. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you got them to see results or you got them in the best shape of their life. They were like, "Where's the next deal? Because I'm not paying
Right.
that. I'm not paying that price that you want for me to stay
Right.
here. I'm gonna go and find me another 25 boot camp or whatever." And then you
Right.
have like one or two with trickle be like, "No, I'm good. I love it here. I'm gonna stay."
Right. Right.
But it was even harder because I was in a new market. It was kind of like me starting over again.
Yeah.
And then so the next thing I started doing was giving away 3 free sessions.
Mm.
Again, the free just bring people in. So the more people
Right.
you could bring in, show them what you're doing, show them the energy of the class, then they're more likely, all right, I want to stick around and stay here.
Right. But then I guess that after a while, as time goes on, it's like you have to really weed out and stick to your core clients, because
I,
it's like after a while, like you were saying, it kind of gets taxing to deal with like the volume of people, especially if it's like you can't either put them in the classes or one-on-one for what works to your schedule and your needs.
yeah, yeah. And so, well, the one thing about the group is that it's a group anyway, so you could always add another person in there. It's not like you're
Mm,
doing extra.
right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? My facility was pretty big that we could hold as many as 25 to 30 people in there.
Got you.
Each one of my workout station could had like 5. So we had like 5 plyo boxes. We had 5 TRX. So we had
Mm,
5 Bosu balls. So
right.
if let's say you build a station of 5 exercises, that's 25 people at each station,
Mm,
and you would just rotate them in circuit. So
right.
the group was fine, but still it was because of how competitive LA is and so many gyms. You
Mm,
had to be unique to get
right.
people in your doors and want to stay.
Got you.
And so community and culture was big for me. If you build once
Mm,
you build, I would tell my clients, hey, do you know the person next to you? They're
mm.
like, nope. You guys been working out for the last 6 weeks. You tell me you don't know that person's name? They're like, nope. I was like, all right, everybody in the class, introduce yourself. And then I would pair them up together.
Mm,
And then after the end of the class, I'll be like, what's her name? And she doesn't know. Everybody do burpees.
mm.
I was like, what's her name? And you see other people like, hey, tell me your name. Tell me your name real quick. You know what I mean? But what that did, right? The next time they come into class, they're like, hey, John. Hey,
Yeah.
Maria. Hey, Michelle. Now everybody know each other,
Right.
right? because in LA, people were just like, they go into a class, they stand and fold their arm or wait until the instructor comes. They didn't say a word to anyone.
Right.
All right. So I started to build a culture where my clients know each other. So even if I'm not telling you to exchange numbers and meet outside the gym, but once you come in, you're gonna know who Asher is.
Right.
And you're not gonna come in and be like, hey coach, good afternoon. I'm like, there's like 3 other people in here.
Right.
You can say good afternoon. You can say good afternoon to them. You know what I mean? So we started building a culture that it was everybody know who each other. And so even when I look at my timeline, I'll look at my feed, I see clients who are not with me anymore, liking other people who were in the gym. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Right. You know what I mean? Even my clients in my past clients in New York, they're still friends to this day. Nice. They still connect with social media and so on each platforms. I see them liking each other's stuff. So for me, building a culture and a community was strong. Right. And it helps. It really helps with people sticking around, because now, if you come into a class and it's your first day, and somebody walk up to you and be like, "Hey, I'm Asher. How you doing?" You're like, "Wow, how long you been here?" "Oh, I've been coming here for 6 weeks." "How you like it?" "Man, I love it. I come to the 6 o'clock every time." You know what I mean? Now they're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. Man, it breaks down that whole barrier of like that, you know what I mean? How you feel. So I encourage my clients to always do that. And it just helped me to retain a lot of clients. So now when you have a group that stick together, like my 6 a.m. crew, you would think they're family. Right. Because they only come to 6 a.m. They show up on time. Now they see, oh my goodness, girl, you look so good. Hey, yo, Joey, man, you look good. You sure looks, you know what I mean? So now because they see them over and over. So now they start commenting, and it doesn't need me to do it. Right. Other people in the class are doing it. Right. They on their Facebook page like, oh my goodness, class is good today. I saw Joey back for the first time. He hasn't been with us the last couple of days because of blah, blah, blah. It was so good to, you know what I mean? So again, building a community, building a culture. It speaks volume, man. But I'm gonna miss that because again, like I said, I won't go back to the gym. Right. But I mean, I'm sure. Like, do you do anything like that virtually now, since you still have like the group setting? Yeah, the group setting it's a little bit different. Gotcha. We kind of chit chat in the morning. Like I'll give people shout out. I'll be like, oh my goodness, I got 2 New Yorkers in the house. Right. You know what I mean? Like we'll give shout out like that. Gotcha. And then even Friday when we would getting off the class, one of the girls was like, hey Mel, I want to be like you when I grow up. Because, you know, she was working out hard and she never stopped, you know what I mean? So people see each other, see other people on the Zoom working out, and they comment and stuff. So again, trying to take that same mentality into the Zoom workout. Right. You know what I mean? And I call people name out during the class. Gotcha. Right. Like, good job, Asher. Yeah. Good job, Mel. Way to work. So now people are hearing, you know, they hear their own name. Right. So they know, like you said, I'm watching. Right. I'm watching you. You know, I'm gonna say, hey, Asher, lower your butt. Hey, Asher, stand up. Look at me for a second. Do it this way. Hey, Johnny, I want you to do it this way because you're not doing it correctly. Right. You know what I mean? So my classes are still, it's just like if you're doing it in person. Right. Because I'm correcting you. I'm not just letting you just go through the motion. You're gonna get the best out of the workout. Right. That's awesome. Yeah. I guess I'm curious, how did you decide or why did you decide to focus on culture and in order for you to use that as the thing to make you stand out in LA? Well, like I said, when people come in and we sit down in consultation, one of the things they said was how they didn't feel good when they walk into that last class that they tried. Nobody talked to them. Right. The instructor didn't even had a conversation with them. Okay. You know what I mean? They finished and they just walked out. Nobody stopped me and hey, how did you like the class? Right. Like your first session after class, hey, hey, you have a few minutes? Let's sit down and talk. What did you like? What you didn't like?
Okay.
Oh my goodness, the class was great. I like it. Okay. Well, you have 2 more free sessions. I'll see let me know when you want to come back. And then by the second class, I'm trying to pull them in and trying to talk to them. So I just gathered information based on when I talked to other people to listen to the experience that they had at the last place, or the last facility that they tried, or they like all the girls at that last class was like incy wincy teeny. They were too tiny for me. Like I need to be around people that's my size.
Right.
I'm not a skinny person. All the girls in there had on sports bra. I'm not working out in my sports bra. I want to work out in my shirt because I don't feel comfortable like that. So being able to and then I'll tell them like, hey, okay, well, this class has people in it that's more like you. And so if you can, this is a class that I would recommend you coming to.
Gotcha.
And they show up to that class, they're like, oh my God, yeah, man, she's fat. She you know what I mean? She's a heavy person. She looks just like me. This is, you know what I mean? So it makes them feel comfortable.
Gotcha.
So to speak. So yeah, but that's how the community and culture, I decided to mold it, to help to build and make people feel more secure once they come into the class.
That's awesome. I guess it makes sense how you say it, because it's like not only did you like you went and you pursued your license in order to get certified, and in that, I'm not sure also, where did you get the idea to just give away training?
Well, listening to other people, listening to other guys and who's done it before, how they do it. But they said, again, I think for me, it was easy for me to give away free training because I had a 9-to-5.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's a little harder if you don't have any income coming in to just give away free service that way. So for my approach, it was a little bit different because I had income coming in.
Right.
But again, maybe it might not be free. Maybe it's a lower price. Maybe it could be like 21 days for $21. Give it a no-brainer so that you could get people to try your stuff, and see if it works or see if it's something that they want to do.
Gotcha. But that's great, because like, I like what you're saying, because it keeps coming up over and over. And I guess I keep trying to find a way to maybe tie it to your background and your culture, because I'm sure, like, as we're talking, it's like I hear the accent from you, so where I'm like, okay, like you're Caribbean, mid America, what do they call that? Central America, or
I am from the Caribbean, so it wouldn't be Native American. I don't even know what they call it.
I was guessing Central America because it's between North and South, so it's like you're in there in the center. But I guess I'm sure it has a different name.
Yeah, it has. I can't even think of the name that Caribbean people would fall into. Gotcha. But Central America would be more down like Curacao, Guyana,
below Mexico.
Yeah, below Honduras,
like staying
and Guatemala,
mainland, not in the islands. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I guess I was just trying to say I think what you've been saying points back to kind of the reason why it's like it's been great to have you as a trainer, and why it's like I like the sessions, because it's like it all points to one thing, that you listen. And like
you have to.
That plays such a big role, because a lot of times people will ask questions, and like in asking the questions, even like as I'm talking with you, we just start talking, and like as you're talking, I'm focusing on listening, not to just get the next question out, but to actually say like, okay, like what is it that you're saying, and then how can I relate it to what I'm thinking? So sometimes it's like I have to turn off my brain from thinking and just be like, huh. And then it's like, oh, how'd you do that? And then how'd you do that? And it's like, okay. And it's like you're kind of on the jungle gym, kind of swinging from one thing to the other,
to the next.
and it just keeps the conversation flowing and things like that. And I guess the more and more you talk, I'm just like, you're natural at this. But I think that, like you're saying, the hang up is trying to figure out where to go. And if any suggestion I would make would probably be look to partner with someone, or hey,
Yeah.
if you want to do this once a week, we can do that. And because
Right.
I
Right.
enjoy talking with you, and it's like just from getting comfortable like on this, talking in a way to where you don't have to structure it just yet, it will
Hmm.
help you kind of build out the structure that you've done to where it's like, hey, we get on and we talk about training. And then if one of your daughters walks in and she wants to tell you something, instead of like just like, hey, I'll be back, just maybe let her in for like 5 minutes and then you can
Have
talk.
a conversation.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then from there, it's like you can kind of take it and do with it what you will. Because I feel
Yeah.
like just from the exposure that you've had from working the 9 to 5 to creating your own training service, having your own gym, transitioning through COVID, and actually pulling the positives from that, where it's like something that was a pain point before, where it's like you had too many clients to where you couldn't get to them all. It's like now you have a way of working with them
Reaching them.
in
Yeah.
a better way. And it's like the issue that you had with not having enough time with your family, now you're able to meet that. So it's like, I think in doing the podcasting thing, it has to work for you. It can't become work. It can't become like another thing that you just add on. And I think maybe that's what you've been kind of
Right.
dealing with a
Right.
little bit, to where it's like, as we're talking right here, I was like, huh, like if it's Saturdays at 5:30 once a month, or like once every other week or something, it's like, hey, let's just start there. Like
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll upload this to YouTube, and it like usually after I finish recording, I just take the file and I drop it into YouTube, because like I can leave it unlisted to where it doesn't post publicly, and then you can kind of watch it back. And as I'm working with my friend Donald, the voice, I can send you his information on Instagram, but he does voiceovers and podcast edits. But
Mhm.
um like we're gonna figure out how the video portion goes. But like just being able to work with him over the last year, it's been very encouraging just to like take small steps one by one, because I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the first time I reached out to him, I tried to edit like the first 5 episodes on my own, and like the first three, the first three were I really tried to edit, and I was like, oh my god, it's like it's a struggle to listen. It was a struggle to listen to my voice. So past tense, like now I can
Uh,
kind of get over it.
yeah.
But it's like
That's what I can't. I hate my voice.
right,
I
but
hate.
it's one of those things where it's like you'll get comfortable with it over time, because it's like I'm
Hmm.
sure when you're training you're not thinking about it because it's not recorded, and then you got to press play and hear it again. But
Right.
I think when you get a grasp of what it is that you're doing, like why you're doing it, and um what the intent or the outcome that you want afterwards,
I
like
think
you
that's what I need to figure
yeah,
out.
right. So it's like once we figured that out, like the voice or the equipment or whatever, like you don't really need equipment. You just start with your phone, because the
Yeah.
audio comes out through pretty well for that. But it's like once you figure out the intent, or just start to circle around it a little bit like a shark with blood in the water, it's like you'll just be like, okay, like I can get over my voice. Because for me, one thing that I did, it's like I started using Zoom because I saw other people use Zoom during webinars. And I was like, from going to Toastmasters and learning how to speak publicly back
Yeah.
in 2014, just coming
Yeah.
out of college, I was like, okay, um, one of the people that I met there, Catherine O'Brien, I did episode 34 with her, and she taught me about like, hey, one thing that's very helpful is to record yourself, because the camera doesn't lie. Or like in sports, they say the eye in the sky doesn't lie. No matter like
Yeah.
what the play is, you run the tape back, it's like, this is what happened. So then it's like, it's terrifying at first because you kind of see your mannerisms and things like that. But as you allow yourself like the patience and the grace to kind of just be like, hey, I'm a work in process.
Yeah.
It lets you kind of, you forgive yourself and you allow yourself to work. So I started recording myself doing the podcast like this. And it's like, if the guests didn't want to be recorded, that's fine. I just knew that I had to record myself because I had to look in the camera or just kind of just get used to seeing it later. And it's like,
Right.
now I'm not doing the edits, but like to pick out the clips that I'll maybe use on IGTV, I still need to watch it. And even if I can't watch it, I'll listen to it, and like I'll have the computer in another room, or I may have it on my phone, and I'm just listening for a certain thing. And then once it gets there, I'm like, okay, this is a good timestamp. I'll go back, I'll like check the video, and then I'll clip it. So it's not, I guess it's not one of those things that you completely get over, but like you can kind of trick yourself. And then the other thing that I did was that I started reading Dennis Kimbrough's book, Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice.
Okay. Yeah.
And what the book did for me was to give me daily motivation to be like, okay, here's a short 1-page story. It's maybe like that big. But in reading it, I was like, you know, I'll read it and I'll record it every single day, because it's literally for every day of the week or every day of the year, it has, he wrote
Something.
it, a story. So in reading it and recording it, I was like, okay, it benefits me personally because I'm reading it and I'm getting something from it. Now, if I record it and I save it and upload it, it can help build my podcast up. But then it also helps me because if I want to hear it again, I just hit
You have
play.
something.
And now that I did the work to get it on Anchor, get it on Spotify, since I already have a Spotify account, I just go on there. It's greedy, but it's something that matters to me. I go on there and I listen to that. And the better that I got at practicing, some days I'll be like, or a couple of times I think I tried to just read it one time and I was like, that's not good. Like that's like, if you're gonna do something, do it well.
Yeah.
Like don't try and perfect it, but do it well. So now it's like I'll read over it to get a general sense of like what the words are or what someone's name is. Like I'm sure I butchered the name of the person for today, but I was like, it's okay.
Right.
So then I just read over it and then I read through it. And then in reading through it, like now I'm trying not to think as I'm reading it, but I'm reading it as I would normally read it. And then in order to put some emotion in it, I'm just reading it as I would read it. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Let me read that again. And I'm just doing that. And literally from 2019 to 2020, before I stopped and took a break, this year I looked back and I was like, I wonder what I did. And it's like I maybe recorded the first 30 sessions or so within the last part of 2019. So it's like once I got clear in my head what the intention was, I just went to work. And then from reading that last part of the year, that was 30% of the year. So it's like it wasn't a waste. It's just I did a lot of work. I got burnt out and I needed a break. And then I felt a little bit discouraged to get back. But once I got over that, started listening to other people, started working out with you, started building my confidence, it's like, okay, I can pick up one thing and do that. And I was like, okay, I'll pick up the podcast again and do it because I know I enjoy it. I know I don't like to edit and I don't need to edit because I have people that are willing and able to help me. And then they're not only that, but they're still available to help me at this time. So I was like, awesome, like we can work together. Let's go. So then we started the month of January, the month of February, and now here we are starting the month of March.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to think about it. This was good. This was good. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you encouraging me to do this.
No
So I
problem.
look forward to the next one. And like I said, I just got to figure out, like, you know, which way I want to do it. I'm gonna look over that cheat sheet
Yeah.
that you sent me, and then just decide from there.
Yeah. Don't let me bully you into something you don't need to do.
No, not at all, not at all. No, like I said, this was good. Again, my voice could help a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I think, for what I've done and where I came from and stuff, it could encourage a lot of people to know that they
Yeah.
have hope. So
I definitely want to get into that the next time we chat. But before you go, can you let people know where they can find you and who you say you are?
Sure. So I'm Coach Jason Brazier. I'm a certified personal trainer, expert in fat loss and body transformation. You can find me at Instagram at Creation Performance, or at the Jason Brazier. That's JASONBRACIER. My website is www.creationperformance.com. And if you guys need to send me a text, 323-736-0833. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, no problem, man. Asher, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Take care and say hi to the family.
I will, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the It's My Time podcast with Asher Tchoua.